it's me, man, you know it's me, the one and only me. Who else could it be? I said it's me, yo, it's me. I might charge you a fee because my life ain't free. I said it's me, yo, you know it's me. I put it up online for the world to see. I said it's me, man, you know it's me. And it's all about making that cash money. I said it's me, man, you know it's me. You might see me with a hottie on a boat at sea. I said it's me, man, you know it's me, the one and only me. Who else could it be? I said it's me, man, you know it's me. I might charge you a fee because my life ain't free. Yo, welcome to my page, you know my story is very interesting.
Hello people, this is your boy, ALNS, always a lion, never a sheep. Once again bringing you It's Me Unlocked with my beautiful and sultry co-host.
Hey, it's your girl Jasmine. Welcome back.
Today we're going to bring you Miss Persia Pele.
That's Pele.
Excuse me, Persia Pele.
Yes.
Persia Pele in studio with us. We're going to start off by asking her a few questions. Persia, why don't you tell us about yourself first? Kind of tell us what you do, you know, your history in the industry, and we'll go from there.
Okay, so my history in the industry. So I got in the industry late 2008,
Okay.
and I got out in 2011. I got in the industry with a 15-page business plan. I never...
That's different.
Yeah, very.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I never meant to become a porn star per se, and I don't know why I thought that I was going to go underneath the radar, you know, but it so happened that I turned out to become, I guess, number 1 or 2 a Persian porn star in the world.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, not really. Oh, you know.
So why is it not nice then?
Well,
I mean, because anything you do, you want to be the best at it, correct?
Absolutely, and mind you, I was nominated in 2010 for Best Performer. However, my country,
Okay.
my culture,
Okay.
I didn't even think about it, and so if I had to do it all over again, it would be. I'd wait for my grandparents to pass, and so on and so forth.
So where are you from exactly?
I was born in Iran, Tehran.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now, being at that, I'm from Iran. It's a totalitarian
Yes.
government, right? So here I am doing porn and speaking Farsi, not thinking that, you know, I was going to get death threats.
I have to ask, I'm assuming that because you did porn and being from Iran, you're not allowed really to go back home.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Now, back then, it was... Okay, so it's become much more accepted now.
Okay.
Being at that the age range over in Iran is between, 30 and 50.
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago, when I started, it was a lot of what they call them mullahs, and those are the guys with the, not turbans, but somewhat.
Yeah, because I was about to ask you what that was.
Right. And like I said, I didn't think that I was going to become this. It was just a character, that I
it was like
created.
acting for you, basically.
Oh, absolutely. And that's, I come from theater.
Okay.
In San Francisco, I went to American Conservatory Theater. And so my reason of doing porn was not because I needed money or drugs or anything like that. It was more so to prove to myself a couple of things. I came out here to win an Oscar, not to win an AVN, with all due respect. So
what was the 50-page proposal?
Oh, 15, not 50.
Sorry.
15. Well, funny enough, if I had implemented it then, I would have been going up against Penthouse and Playboy and so on and so forth. Being it that, in porn, they have your likeliness for 10 years to make money off of you.
Oh, okay.
Right. So it wouldn't have worked. And basically it was just, a PowerPoint little presentation of, Persia Pele and branding and merchandising and so on and so forth.
But if I may ask,
yes.
what do you feel was the necessity of, because most young ladies that get into the industry don't present a presentation like you did.
No.
So what was your purpose exactly of presenting that type of presentation for this type of industry?
What, it was branding. How do I say this? Okay, so the main reason why I did porn was to prove to myself that I did actually have what it took to win an Oscar and become a successful actor.
Okay.
Being it that, I thought to myself, what's the hardest thing an actor has to do, or just a person in general? And that's to stand up naked, and talk.
Okay.
Let alone have sex and stay in a character.
Uh-huh.
So I was able to walk onto set and just become Persia Pele.
Okay.
As in acting, it's not acting per se; it's just being oneself.
Exactly.
If that makes any sense,
I completely understand.
And so, yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
where did Persia Pele come from? The name.
Okay, so word association, Pele, the football player, right?
Okay.
So nobody will ever forget that, right?
Yeah.
Pele's a football player.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Is he Persian?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Oh, soccer. Well, I say
yeah.
football because,
Football.
right.
So, why did you choose? But did you fancy this guy, or
Not
why
at
did
all.
you?
No, it was just I don't know, because I wanted to stand out.
Okay.
I didn't want. No, you couldn't forget me.
And is your
basically.
first name Persia?
No, not at all.
So where did Persia come from then?
Well, being it that once upon a time, there was a place called Persia,
Yeah,
the empire.
exactly.
And so my whole thing was to bring back the Persian Empire. And
Okay.
what that was not a bunch of these, religious fanatics, but it was about food and orgies and drugs and so on and so forth.
Nice.
Yeah. It wasn't, what it is today.
So I noticed you said that you were in the industry from a certain amount of time to a certain amount of time. So I'm assuming you're no longer in the industry?
No, I'm not. No.
Okay. So what path has your life taken since you've gotten out of the industry? Because the reason why I asked this question, because I know a lot of people get into the industry and it's hard for them to transition out of it and transition to a new lifestyle.
Absolutely.
So what is your path now that you're out of the industry?
Well, it's to make money off of Persia Pele now.
Okay.
It's time.
So it's more so your branding now.
Absolutely.
Than anything. Okay.
Yes. And merchandising.
Okay.
Any artist, that's, the bulk of their money comes from merchandising.
Exactly.
What are you merchandising?
That's far nothing, but like for instance, I want to come out with a wine called Persia Pele, the Forbidden Fruit.
Okay.
I have these T-shirts that are geared towards the skateboarding world. Being it that I found out that I had a big, fan. He had just signed a $20 million contract, and I was like, wow, okay. So I got the skateboarders, on board, and so on and so forth. So
don't try to steal her idea, people. She already branded it. Persia Pele, the Forbidden Fruit. She branded it. Don't try to steal it.
Copywritten and trademarked.
So I talked to you briefly off camera, and you told me about your background prior to the industry. Do you care to elaborate on your background prior to the industry? Or?
Sure, absolutely. When I came here, I actually saw an interview with Vin Diesel, and he said, if you want to make it out here, you need to come with product. Meaning, prior to you trying to get an agent or this and that, you need to come with product, meaning already made movie. So I executive produced my first film. However, being that I was new and didn't really know this world, so contracts are everything, right? Right. Yeah. So that was a $160,000 lesson learned. But at the same,
I like that you phrased it. I like that you phrased it: lesson learned versus mistake.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It's all
definitely
lessons.
a lesson learned.
Yeah, absolutely. But then from there, Richard Ford, who was Hype Williams' producer, took me under his wing and taught me how to produce music videos. And from there, gosh, I was producing, did all of Game's first album, produced all of that. Yeah, that was really interesting. But
I'm sure it was.
You don't even know. But yeah. So mind you, that and then the funny. So I got casted in this movie called Color the Cross.
Okay.
And it's about whether Jesus Christ was black or not. Guess who plays Mary Magdalene?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
And
what did you play?
Mary Magdalene.
Oh.
Yeah.
And here we are 10 years later, how, art imitates life.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. So, yeah.
So if I may ask, do you like mainstream more?
Absolutely. No. See, with porn, okay, so me coming from the mainstream world, the etiquette, I would arrive on set a half an hour prior.
Okay.
Now, on the porn industry, they would laugh at me. They're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And or when I'd come on set, I would talk to my my colleague, and what are your do's and don'ts, and great, I'll see you when time comes.
Okay.
They're like, huh? Whereas the other girls, unfortunately,
They just kind of show up.
well, not even that. Just, it's not regulated. They're just out of it completely. You know what I mean? And it's not taken as seriously as it should be.
Okay.
And so, hence my understanding of really why I got, into this world, to become a catalyst in a sense,
Okay.
to save and or to bring shed light on the fact that these women, the porn industry, there's no kind of there's no union, there's no residuals. Myself alone, they made $64 million off of me in the last 10 years.
Wow.
Where's my money?
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Mind
think I
you,
remember hearing Mia, I think her name is Mia Khalifa. She's the Lebanese porn star, and that's why she left. She's like, I barely made money when I did porn. And she was one of the top females at the time. I think we're seeing a shift, though, with that now, with there being platforms such as like ItsMii, where models now have a little bit more control and they make their own content.
Right.
Also, you're seeing more like model empowerment. Whereas, I can only imagine what it was like in 2008. I didn't get in the
So let me ask
industry
this:
till 2013.
outside of content creating platforms like ItsMii, with production, how do you all go about changing that where you are getting a substantial amount of your money versus the production company getting it?
You tell me. Now, I looked into the labor law unit for the guild, and that was passed in like 1930s. Now, it's the same similarities of being
Mainstream.
porn and mainstream. What's the difference? They have agents. They have agents. They pay them, their percentage, so on and so forth. And it's not. There's a 65% death rate amongst these girls.
Yes.
Okay, and it's just brushed underneath the.
And that's something I definitely want to talk about. Like I said, I know you and I talked off camera about drugs in the industry.
Yeah.
Suicide in the industry, and I know that you're a huge advocate for wanting to try to find a way to fix some of that.
Absolutely.
Of course, I don't know myself much about the industry. I'm more behind the camera than in front of the camera. So it's definitely something I would love to hit on to see if we can save some lives in the industry. But also, I would like to hit on the understanding of how we can make the porn industry more mainstream, I guess you could say. When I say that, I'm saying as far as pay goes.
Absolutely.
I know, in mainstream, because I've been in mainstream for a long time, and I know in mainstream, as you stated earlier, the agents get a certain percentage.
Yes.
Is that not how it works in the porn industry?
I'm saying yes, it does. Absolutely. There are agencies, and when you get booked, you have to give a percentage to them. So you have a call time, you have makeup and hair on
But is that
set
percentage
time.
different than, say, mainstream? Like, mainstream is 20%, 25%. Is that?
I believe
it's
it's the same.
So why is if they made $64 million off of your lifetime, why is 80% of that money not going to you?
Because it's not regulated, and if it was regulated, these girls would be fine.
So basically, what you're saying is, even though the agency is supposed to take 20%, they're taking more than that 20%.
Well, I mean, in retrospect, yeah, not really like percentage-wise, but they're taking their lives. They don't care about these girls at all. I remember one time I was at the certain agency, and one of the girls that passed away, was it Bryce Hunter,
Okay.
and you know, I heard them over the phone, and they were so, how do you say, just callous, you know, like, oh well. And I was just like astonished, and then I started, realizing that this is like it's been going on for a
very long time.
a lot of these girls. Just recently,
Exactly. And I heard about the most recent suicide that took place. What do you feel is the biggest reason why women are taking their lives in this industry?
Because they're not getting into it for the right reasons, and it's not being controlled. Okay. So, for instance, I've had a lot of fans ask me, "Oh, please, I want to get into porn. I want to get into porn." Well, why? Is it because you need money, or is it because you want to win an AVN? If you want to become a star, a porn star, then I'll lead you. And mind you, it's a formula, and there's it's a tier of protocol of longevity, and they don't teach that to the girls at all. And it's sad. It's really sad.
So you've been in it, what was it, a 10-year span that you were in the industry?
No, honey. I was in there for the duration. I did only 40 films.
So have you ever thought about becoming an agent to try to change some of the perspectives that
by myself?
Well, of course not. I mean, more like a manager. You start off as a manager, and you're negotiating these contracts for these young ladies when they go to different productions and stuff like that. Have you ever thought about?
No, I mean, I would be going up against some,
of course,
big time people. I'm just a little,
But a lot of those people
are not
like a
nice.
lot of the girls want to work for these men that are really running it. Like,
but they don't know any better.
Yeah, and they think it's cool.
Yeah,
and they want
because
to
they're
be
young.
associated with that. I hear it all the time, and and then I'll meet some of the agents, or whatever, and I'm just like, oh my god,
right?
This guy is like odd,
so
like
there's
weird,
there's
creepy,
no
like
recourse at all. Like there's no one that these young ladies can contact when stuff like this is happening.
There is a new company now. I'm not sure if I can. Well, I can probably say their name on here. Pineapple Support. Okay. There is that. Their new company that. Well, maybe they've been around for a year, but they're helping with like mental health.
Really?
Like that. Yeah, I think they've been around for about a year now, I believe, or maybe it's a little bit over that. Maybe it was since 2019. So there is that company, and a lot of people have been supporting them and backing them. So that's been really helpful for, I think, a lot of the girls. I recently met, not recently, because this was the last live show we went to. It was like, had to be in 2019 then. I met a girl that was trying to be in the industry, and she was at one of the shows, and one of her eyes were like closing as she was talking to me.
Oh no!
And I was like, let me tell you something. She was hanging out with a lot of, important people doing. But I was like, you're just starting out. Like, if this person's partying that hard and doing all that and that's fine. They already made it. You gotta move seriously. This is not the time to party. You can be around it, but have some. Right. I was like, you gotta have some control.
Absolutely.
Say no. You don't have to be judgmental either. Say no and be like, oh no, man, go ahead.
Right.
I'm cool. Like, just. I was like, but if you want to like longevity, you're not gonna have it if you're already getting twisted.
Yep.
And this is like it was like her first month in the industry, and she was like, it was like 3:00 and like in the afternoon.
Wow.
And like she was out of it already.
Now, as you said, I don't know if we're going to get in trouble for this, but I want you to repeat that company again, because anything I think that's helping people mentally,
yes,
it needs to be put out there.
Absolutely.
So we'll deal with the ramifications after. But can you repeat that company?
Yeah, it's called Pineapple Support.
Okay. Now you and I talked, Persia, about drugs in the industry.
Yes.
And the pitfalls of drugs in the industry. And I do want to state, as I told you, that we're not in any way, form, or fashion endorsing drug use. But drug use is taking place in the industry.
Not in the world. America.
Yeah, exactly. So I would definitely like for at least some education on drugs and what drugs we shouldn't mix and they shouldn't mix and stuff like that.
Right.
I've never had the experience with drug use, so it would probably be, because like I said, you and I talked about it, so it would probably be more, it would be better for you to kind of address that.
Well, just like anything, it's you got to be responsible. And drugs are not a bad thing per se. but like I said, you have to be responsible. If you're going to do it, you have to know about it. You have to be educated. You know, they have sex ed. Why don't they have drug ed? Do you know how many lives would be,
true.
saved? And especially nowadays with this thing, fentanyl going around, and here's one thing that I had learned, not that I've done it before, but I looked into it, like, why is everybody like dropping like flies when they're first doing it? Mind you, fentanyl, you have to do it in little tiny doses so you build up a tolerance. So hence these people, they're dropping like flies, they're, like...
So they're doing it by the masses, basically.
Yeah,
and
there's
you're
a
saying
certain
that-
way of doing it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Right,
I think that's kind of with anything.
Yes.
You don't want to overindulge in something,
Right, and you don't want to mix stuff, and it's,
So, to your knowledge, are there any drugs that you say you never want to mix with, say, alcohol?
oh gosh, okay, pills, Xanax.
Okay.
There's GHB or G. Yeah, you do not want to mix anything with that.
Okay.
Because it's a respiratory thing. That's those two pills and the G, and it goes on. So, I actually am in the process of writing this coffee table book. Of if you're going to do drugs, do them responsibly, and each chapter will state, a drug. A particular drug, and the pros and the cons, what you're going to feel, what's going to happen, the effects later, and how to replenish yourself afterwards.
Okay.
So
this book that you're writing, not to get too personal with you, but this book that you're writing, so that people that's reading this book or people that's seeing this book know that you actually have the knowledge that you're speaking on. Is it coming from firsthand knowledge, or is it more research that you're doing?
Very honest, both.
Okay.
There's a lot of drug that I did not do, but the people around me I saw.
Okay.
And I learned from them, unfortunately.
Okay.
One of the biggest misconception, when people are on drugs and they're not feeling well, they're like, okay, I'm gonna go take a shower. Well, you're not supposed to take a hot shower because that gets your blood going, so that gets you even higher,
and
then you die.
Too, yeah.
Right. So you're supposed to shock your system, so you have to take a cold shower.
Okay.
It's just simple little things like that.
And that's good that you're putting stuff out there like that, even though it may sound simple to some. It's not simple to a lot. So some people are doing it the wrong way. Because the unfortunate part,
everybody's always like, don't do drugs, do drugs, but it's not realistic.
Exactly.
Some people are going to do drugs. Some
and that's what I was about to say. The unfortunate part is there is going to be drug use, regardless. Right. Yeah. So it would be best if people are educated on a proper way to do them, because they're going to do them regardless whether,
It's kind of like with sex, right? Like when they're just pushing the abstinence, but... people are gonna fuck. So
right.
I will
especially
say this,
in the
though,
entertainment
I am
industry.
going to go to 7-Eleven.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, she's not gonna be there.
And I segue to that joke to kind of make it a little lighter. I don't want to, I don't want the whole show to be about, people getting teary eyed on.
No, it's not about that. It's about.
I will say that I am glad that you're here because you are our first guest on the show. But I think you have a lot of positive insight about the industry that can help people in the industry. Whereas, Jasmine and I talk about it. We talk about it more from a production standpoint.
Right.
And, you can talk about it from a first-hand standpoint.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why we brought you on the show, to have positive insight on the industry. But not to shy away from the negative aspects of the industry as well, because we want those to be highlighted so people know what the do's and the don'ts are of the industry.
Now, mind you, it's the same thing with the mainstream industry. A-list actors ODing and so on and so forth, but it's less because they have managers and they're managed. They've got somebody telling them like, "Yo, what are you doing? You're making a fool of yourself," or this and that, and so it's.
Well,
it's
I think the big
less.
thing with a manager, whether it be the adult industry or mainstream, is you got to have a manager that's not just there trying to get paid. You got to have a manager that actually cares about your well-being.
Absolutely.
a lot of people in the mainstream, they have managers that were part of their circle, you know. But you gotta understand, if that part of your circle was already doing things that you shouldn't be doing, then why would you let them manage you? And I'm saying all this because I used to own a management company. So, you know, we manage singer songwriters, models, and actors. And I made it clear to all of my talent that, you know, if I don't care about you, I can't manage you.
Okay.
If I don't have your well-being in mind, because at the end of the day, I don't want to see nobody under my watch die because you know they were improperly managed.
Absolutely.
But the unfortunate part is there are a lot of managers in the industry, both sides of the industry, that are there to just make money. You know, and
I feel like they also care mainstream more about like reputations are more important in mainstream.
I agree.
So, you know, you're gonna have people that are on you a tad bit more. Like if you're kind of wild and crazy and all that, they actually like that. And
right.
Adults sometimes they're like, get a little messier.
Right. And so, but you know, they have to realize it's not a lifestyle. You know, you don't have to live that porn star lifestyle.
It's,
you know,
it's acting.
It's acting at the end of the day. So
what was your final hoorah that said, I'm done in the industry, I'm done being in front of the camera, I'm going to start advocating for do's and don'ts in the industry, I'm going to start advocating for trying to save people in the industry? What was your final hoorah that just said, look, I'm washing my hands on me performing in the industry?
You really want to know?
Yes.
It's deep. It's really, really, really
Yes.
deep. I thought you wanted to make it light.
But
I'm sure. Well, okay.
But our viewers really need to know stuff like this because, again, if we could save one young lady's life, I'm fine with or man, of course.
Okay.
Any gender.
Yes.
You know, if we could save any gender's life, I'm definitely for it.
So here's the thing. My grandmother, she died because of this. Meaning, well, and I have to make fun of it because, you know, with tragedies in life, you have to make fun of things or else you go crazy.
Yeah, you have to make some light of it.
Absolutely. So, you know, my father, who, and I don't even know how he found out, but he finds out and he sends an email to my grandmother. Now, they're Muslim, they pray, and this is on my mother's side, right? And they've already been divorced. So my grandmother opens up the email, and guess what picture she sees? So from there, she suffers a stroke, and she raised me, you know, and let me tell you something. That's the number one question I asked. I said, do you realize that one person that you think that will never, ever, ever see your stuff is going to, and they are going to get affected by it, you know? So make sure that this is the route you want to take, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, from there, she got Alzheimer's, and then she, dementia. Now, I actually, in fact, spoke with her doctor and told her, you know, what had happened. And I said, could this be such, you know, because it doesn't, that disease, okay, so in my family, heart attacks, that's our main disease thing, right? Okay. Not Alzheimer's, not dementia. And well, yeah, the doctor said, yeah, actually.
Wow.
And so, I hold myself accountable. However, God knows what's in my heart, and you know, I never ever, God knows, meant to. Right. So, that was the biggest, turning point. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for people who are like, it's like, it sucks for a lot of like, I know a lot of obviously like white women that do porn, and I see they get a lot of support from their parents. A lot of times, not all of them, but ethnic families, like some of like Muslim background, Middle Eastern. You don't.
That's
see
the worst.
Even a lot of black people. Yeah. You don't see. You'll see a lot of like black women that are strippers, but that's so low key. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're still. But they wouldn't cross over to that because the family would probably come and kill you. Exactly. Like, it's like,
absolutely.
The level of like, it's pretty scary.
Well, I do want to say, sorry for your loss with your grandmother.
Thank you.
But as you said, our Lord knows your heart.
Absolutely.
You know, knows nothing was done with malicious intent.
No.
But the good thing about that is going to come of it is you now advocating to save other people in the industry.
Absolutely.
Regardless, as she said earlier, of gender. and I think the industry needs that.
Yes, absolutely.
Because we have been seeing entirely too many suicides take place in the industry for various reasons.
Yes.
Some that may not even be suicides.
Right, absolutely.
So, we definitely need someone that's going to be in these people's corner to say, hey, I'm here if you need someone.
Absolutely, yes.
I think the book that you're doing is a good idea.
Thank you.
But I think we need to possibly even go further. And when I say that, that's why I asked you earlier about, have you ever thought about managing young ladies? And again, as y'all stated earlier, you're going to be going up against some big names.
Right.
But we got to understand, everybody started somewhere.
Absolutely.
So we can't be afraid to go against these big names. I mean, if you look at ItsMii, for instance, it's a giant in this industry right now that we're competing with.
Right.
But we're not afraid to compete with them because we know our ethics, we know what we're here for and what we're trying to accomplish. And at the end of the day, that's what's should be most important.
And now, keyword is we. It's only me.
Okay.
So if I had,
well, you and I could definitely talk after this because I like I said, I have extensive managerial experience.
Yeah.
Just not in adult industry.
Right.
So it's more so in the mainstream industry. But I can give you some techniques, and I still have my company. But I signed it over to my assistant. It got a little too messy for me. And I decided to sign it over.
What does that mean? Messy with what?
Well, the thing is I don't mix business and pleasure. So my thing is, I managed a lot of models, and models felt because they were super attractive that I was going to do special favors. And I'm not doing special favors for no one unless you're making me money. So and the young lady that was my assistant for like 5 years, I felt it would be better for her to take it over because she can deal with that side of the industry or the female gender a lot better than I can.
Right.
I'm very straightforward. I'm a little harsh sometimes. And the way I come across can be offensive at times. But coming from another woman to a woman, maybe it's not as offensive.
It's not
so
even,
I'm
it's
more
artists.
of a,
Artists are very sensitive.
Exactly. Very. Extremely.
Yeah.
So I'm more of in a advisory role now. So I kind of gave her the company, signed it over to her, and I'm more of an advisory role. So she called me for advice and stuff like that. But back to what I was saying, I still have a lot of managerial experience in the industry. So if that's something you're considering,
I would love to.
we could definitely have a sit down and talk about it. Come up with some ideas.
Yes, absolutely. I'd love to.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, like I said, I tried to go light earlier, but we're going to go light now. So tell us some interesting facts about you, Miss Persia.
Well, okay, so some funny stories. When I got into porn, and now mind you, I'm coming from mainstream, so, and I never watched porn before, okay? So
you ever watched porn before you came to the industry?
I swear, no, nope.
Oh my goodness! You didn't think you weren't like, let me go on?
Not really.
Pornhub real quick.
It's funny. It's funny. I host ItsMii Unlocked, and I'm not a porn dude. Yeah, it's not.
Right. No.
Yeah, it's not me.
So, as I'm sitting there being interviewed by a potential manager, the lady says to me, "So, how do you feel about DP?" Now, in my world, it means director of photography, right? So I'm like, I'd be honored because I do want to do that one day, God. And she's like, no, that means double penetration. I'm like, what? No. So then she goes, how do you feel about facials? I was like, well, I mean, I get them once a week. She's like, no, sweetheart, that's how retarded and naive I was, right? So yeah, that was pretty funny.
So that was that on your no list, DP?
Right. So here's that. There's just like there's stages and for longevity, and they don't teach these to these girls. You don't get in there and start doing anal, all of a sudden.
They'll pay the big bucks for that.
Right. Right. And so, but then again, this character that I created, the princess of Persia, whatever, she did not do a lot of things because she was a bitch, high acidity. So hence my not doing, I'd say I was the most conservative porn star.
Okay. Well, I have to say, when we bring someone on the show, we have to do our research. So
Yeah.
don't.
So you do watch porn.
Don't look into this. So when I talked to Persian, I booked her for the show. I had to do my research, so I went on and researched you on
as you
on
should have.
various
Yes,
sites.
absolutely.
And I will say that your artistry is good. But what do you think is your best scene?
I'll be really honest with you, and this is a gift, I guess, an innate gift of being able to literally embody Persia Pele. So meaning that I don't remember in essence, because I was into the dialogue.
Okay.
Believe it or not, and that was one of my things in the contract. I was not going to do anything without dialogue and a storyline.
That brings me to an interesting question. Now, as I said, I'm not a big porn guy. I have watched porn, but I'm not a big porn guy. But I'm going to be perfectly honest. I hate a story. If I'm going to watch it, I just wanted to get to it.
That's because you don't like intimacy, though.
Okay.
You don't
How
like
you
intimacy.
know I don't like intimacy?
Because that's what the storyline is. It kind of
I like
brings
intimacy
you,
with the right woman. But if I'm watching porn, I want a nut.
Okay, but look, get it. Okay, so the dialogue had to be funny, and that's the only way that it would work.
Okay.
Not some serious stuff, with porn. And a lot of my fans actually, if you watch a little bit more, they are funny,
Okay.
The dialogue, and that's the key to.
So you
having
never
dialogue
did
inside.
scenes where y'all just hop right into it?
No.
Really?
No, because like I said.
Do you feel that you possibly missed out on some opportunities because of that?
Not at all.
Okay.
No.
because that's not what she wanted to do.
Well, it's not. It's what Persia
Okay.
Pele would not do.
Do that.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
It didn't fit the
Character.
character. So.
Mhm.
So do you find anyone that, since you're out of the industry in that capacity, do you find anyone kind of filling those shoes that you once filled?
I don't know because I don't watch porn. No.
I'm trying to think if there's any. I don't really know of any other
Persians,
Persian girl.
right?
Obviously, there's a Armenian girl that's kind of well known, but she's Armenian, and then the Lebanese, but she left.
And thank you for recognizing the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a very slim amount
Yeah.
in the industry that I know of.
And it's actually starting to become a little bit more accepted, believe it or not. There's a mainstream movie that I watched recently because of this. She's a Persian director. Her name is Leila Amirpour, and her big movie was called The Bad Batch.
Okay.
Have you guys heard about her? Seen?
No.
Now, the likes of Jim Carrey and Keanu Reeves and big time actors, they believed so much in her directing and the storyline that they did it for nothing. The movie was only $6 million. Okay, so Jim Carrey gets $6 million.
$6 million with Jim Carrey
Yes, sir.
and
then
Keanu
some.
Reeves?
Yes.
Wow.
So, and then I did my research on her, and she did this movie. It's a Persian movie. It's called Persian Vampire, The Girl Who Walks Home Alone at Night. And it's a black and white subtitled movie about this vampire who is protecting the escorts.
Okay.
And it's very racy and gory and so on and so forth. So, I did my research on her. I mean, I fell in love with the movie completely, the way it's stylized and so forth. And she very, I think she's gonna be able to break into the Persian culture being more acceptable of showing the breasts and so on.
You saying
and so forth.
that, I want to segue really quickly to a new series that is on Netflix right now called Sex Life.
Mm-hmm.
And the main actress, when I get obsessed with a series, I always look up people's signs. So I went to Google her, and I found out she's Persian. And I was like, she's you guys look similar. She's so beautiful.
The lead
thank
character.
Yeah,
Persian?
and
Okay.
she's.
Yeah?
This is.
Well, good for her.
This
That's
is
what's,
this is a very dirty.
The
it
funny
was
part
great.
is I saw the
mean,
trailer.
She was naked in it, like boobs out, everything.
Yeah.
And to know that she's Persian and
That's
was doing
awesome.
and took that type of role.
Yes.
I was like, wow, that's pretty.
Well, I
powerful.
saw the trailer for that movie, and I was kind of scared to watch it because it talks about how
Why?
you know.
What you scared
hold
of?
on. Okay,
What you scared of?
hold on. Let me
Lord.
see. I'm a married man, right?
Okay.
And this is a
You don't
show.
want your wife getting ideas?
This
That's
is
why?
exactly.
Oh, I knew
know?
you were going to be that
so,
insecure.
so this
Sit
is
down and
hold
watch
on.
it with
This
your
is a
wife.
show about a woman that's a wholesome woman, very wholesome, loves her husband, loves her family life, but she's questioning if that's the type of lifestyle she should be in versus this erotic lifestyle.
Okay.
You know, and the reason why it's not insecurities, but the reason why my wife is a very wholesome person too. So with her, I sometimes do wonder.
Stop.
No,
Okay.
I sometimes do wonder. Does
Right.
she think about that erotic side? And the reason why I asked is I maybe hold on. You're right, but let me tell you. No, I don't. First of all, I don't wham bam my wife. That was before my wife. I wham bam. But no, so she came to me the other day and she asked me and she said, "What do you think about BDSM?" And I said, "What? You?"
Don't get left behind.
And
Don't
hold
get
on.
left behind.
And that's exactly
She's reading
no,
the books.
that's exactly what I was thinking. So when she asked me that, man, I went on Amazon and bought all type of stuff to get ready for our BDSM. But that show kind of scared me. I was like, okay, I gotta do some things to her first before I let her watch that movie.
Well, yeah, you want to make sure there's a lot of passion in your relationship.
No, we do. I mean, that's the thing with us. Our sex life by no means is drab. It's very.
How long you guys been married?
10 years and been together for 13.
Okay.
So it's definitely not something where we're lacking. But I think when you with someone for so long, you know, you got to start inviting new approaches
Swingers.
to sex stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I ain't gonna do no swinger.
no, but no.
No, well, hold on.
Hold
Hold on, but that's allegedly. Yeah, make sure you get it right. That's allegedly. But no.
But he has threesomes.
So okay, this is our rule. Okay. So yes, we do enjoy life with allowing other young ladies to see our bedroom.
Okay. And you're very lucky that she's allowing you.
Yes,
to do so.
and she's a very beautiful woman. So I'm a very lucky man.
Yes.
So the funny part is we had a party last Saturday, and it was my birthday party. 2 Saturdays ago, and it was my birthday party. And one of my boys walked up and I said, "Where my gift at?" He's like, "Why would I get you a gift? You got a beautiful wife that's bisexual. Why would I need a gift? Why would I get you?
Okay.
You got everything."
Right.
Yeah. And I was like, and I looked at him and I said, "Yeah, you're right.
You gotta celebrate her.
I don't need a gift."
Right.
You know? But you know, sometimes, and the thing is, and let's talk about threesomes a little bit because people have to understand, you don't wake up with your girl, wife, or significant other and just suggest a threesome. It's something that has to be talked about extensively. So me and my wife talked about it for 2-3 years before we even considered doing it, just to kind of approach all of the possibilities, negative and positive.
Right.
You know, so we wanted to make sure what ifs didn't come up and hurt our
2 to 3
relationship.
years.
She was.
The hell? Is there a pie chart
She never.
PowerPoint?
Wait, what's
Prior
her
to
sign? What's her
meeting
sign? Because
Libra.
I know about Geminis. You
Libra.
guys are, Libra. Okay.
Oh, 2 air signs.
prior to meeting me, she never fancied that idea. Never fancied that idea ever. Prior
So
to
you
meeting me.
think?
Which let me be clear.
Is it?
My wife is a nerd in every sense of the word. I'm only the 4th guy she's ever been with in her whole life.
Okay.
You know, she didn't kiss her first guy till she was 21. You know, so yeah, I got lucky. You know, beautiful woman, no kids, amazing
Why is that
job.
lucky? Why is that lucky?
Because the reason why I say lucky is
Elaborate.
when I say beautiful woman with an amazing
We're not
job.
sexual shaming.
Right.
No, I'm saying beautiful woman with a great job, no kids. I'm saying that's hard to find. You know, there are beautiful
But
women out here.
even if she would have, you know,
Had-
kissed her first boy at 12.
Right.
But that I'm gonna be perfectly honest. For me,
Yeah.
with that maybe has set a little different with me versus 21. I always imagine when I married a woman, I would marry a nice, because I know me. I know I'm not that wholesome dude. So I can't marry a woman that's like me. You know, I needed to marry that woman that was wholesome, that's complete opposite of me. And she is the exact opposite of me, you know. And when they say opposites attract, in this instance, they do. She's very shy, very well reserved. I'm
If
that get in your face type of guy.
If I may,
Yes.
men are not wired to be with one woman for the rest of their lives. It's not normal. Now,
I agree.
Now, spiritually,
No, I agree.
absolutely.
But
not,
I agree.
But not physically.
That's why.
I mean, I know faithful men though.
No, it's not. It's
Far
not about
few in
no.
between.
No.
I do
Hold
know.
on. Let me make sure we clarify.
Right.
It's not about being
I know a lot of
unfaithful.
cheaters too.
No,
Right.
it's not about.
but I know faithful.
mind
But no,
you,
it's not about being unfaithful. When she said what she said, the relation that I made to that is that's why we allow other women to come into our
Amen. Yes,
bedroom
yes.
because she understands
Yes,
that that's not the general thought process of a man. Can it happen with a man? Of course, men can be faithful. A man could be with one
Yeah,
woman.
because I know
But
men
that's
that
Absolutely.
won't do.
They're lying to you.
threesomes. No,
They're
no,
lying
I
to
know
you.
these are friends. These are not.
Great, they're
these
lying
are
to you.
people. No, they're
A
not
man
lying.
is-
No,
a man-
every man is not the same.
A man is
human
not going to
beings-
turn down a
human beings-
threesome.
Look.
I know
mean-
plenty that have turned down threesomes and ain't had one, and they're in their 50s.
They
they're
trying
in
to
their
impress
40s.
you.
No, they're not. No, they're not. I have raw conversations with people, and you know the shit we talk about.
We got men
and
here.
nobody needed. That does not impress me. That shit does not impress me. You
What
already
don't
know.
impress
Somebody being like, I don't need to have a threesome. You heard the. I'm talking about
Oh, yeah.
pegging and all that
Okay,
other shit.
now
You
you
think
say
that
that
shit's
too.
gonna
Yeah,
impress me?
yeah.
No. Like the men that a lot of men I know. I know some that are wild. I know some like you. And then I know some.
Well,
that,
hold on. What's like me? What's like me exactly?
You're the type of man that type of shit would you would probably try to impress somebody saying some stuff like that to a wholesome girl. Maybe you
Definitely
said that to
not.
your wife at first.
No, definitely
Maybe you
not.
were like, oh no,
No.
baby,
But
I don't
see,
care about
no,
all
that's
that.
one thing
That
about me.
type
I'm
of
a
shit
very
don't work.
straightforward
I wanna
dude.
know, I know your deepest, darkest shit. I figured that out pretty quick. I'm a very I try to get in the depths of a person. There's no fake shit over here. So for me, there's certain people that's just not their thing. They're more reserved. They don't like certain stuff like that, and they don't want to have threesomes. And then I know a lot of men
I'm
that
48
you know,
years
they're
old,
like
and
you.
I've never met a man that would turn down a
Well,
true threesome.
I've known some, and I've even been with
And
Um,
just to make sure
now,
I'm clarifying,
were
I'm
they-
definitely not one of those guys that would lie and say, "No, I don't want that." No, I'm gonna tell you from jump. So
Right,
So
right.
you said that to your wife when you first
I'm
met her.
gonna tell her
You saw
from
the
jump.
wholesome,
From
shy
jump.
women that you.
From jump.
You
She
were like,
knew.
there's gonna be more pussy in this room. That
From-
you did not know that you were a
From
motherfucking
jump,
liar.
she knew.
Boy, no.
Of course, I'm not gonna come at her like,
Right.
"Oh yeah, I'm not gonna come at her like, yeah, we gonna fuck somebody else."
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna come at her like that. But
In due time,
I definitely came at her and told her, "Look, this is my approach. This is what I look for in a relationship." So she knew exactly.
You told this nerdy, wholesome, only kissed a boy when she was 21.
Yes.
That you were going
Now,
to
now,
be.
now, let me
I
make
don't
sure.
believe
Now, let me
that.
make
No,
sure. I
I
told
believe
her.
you
Wait.
wined and dined
No.
her
In
and
defense-
fluffed her.
No.
I
Full of
told
shit.
her
Geminis are
that
pretty
I'm not
honest,
expecting
brutally,
that
yeah.
of her,
Right.
but I told her how I am.
It's-
But it
right.
wasn't an expectation of her. If she's open to it, then great. But I told her from jump how I am. It wasn't an expectation. And even to this day, the fact that we've done that before.
You guys think you're always being, but you're not. You guys are very manipulative, and I don't
To this
think
day.
for 1 second the way you described this woman that you were super on. You may have been like, yeah, I used to be this guy.
We need
You
to
can
ask
tell
her.
Stories,
need
but
to
Okay,
ask
I know.
just for the record, people, my wife will never be on this show.
Yeah.
She will not be on this
People
show.
are like,
All right.
that ain't true.
No, but even to this day, even though that we've done that before, she knows to this day it's still not an expectation of her. If it happens, great, it's an added bonus. But I don't expect it of
How
her.
often do you do threesomes?
In all honesty, we haven't done one probably in 3 years.
3 years.
Do you think Bill Gates has ever had a threesome?
Hell yes.
I don't.
I don't
You
either.
don't
I
think
know.
so?
No, he goes off and he
no.
fucks his ex. Remember they?
Yeah,
did you
I heard
hear
it.
that?
No,
About
did- no,
the
you
woman
hear about
that
the
he
po-
wanted to be with, he made an arrangement with his wife before they got married that they were. Even he said that he called her for permission to propose to his wife
That's
that he's
what's
divorcing now.
Wow.
But they would go away to their favorite spot.
Yeah,
year.
but
So
if
they
his
have
wife,
threesomes, he just
but if
going
his wife
around.
knew
Right,
about
right,
stuff like
right.
that, of course she would allow a threesome to come into their environment as well. So why?
Yeah,
She
no.
was like,
Yeah,
bye.
right. Yeah, there are women that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go get your dick wet over
You're right.
there, and
Come-
I'll be in my
right.
Now,
mansion.
I
Right,
know I'm
exactly.
finna
Right.
get, I know I'm finna
Yeah.
get shitted on right now by
No.
both of you. I think every woman is bisexual.
Oh my God!
No.
That is not true. That's your male fantasy.
right.
I think every woman,
And I think every man wants
stop
hand
Hello.
Okay, don't
Right.
start again.
Okay, so look.
You're just
Well,
taught
look.
that you
No,
should
that
not.
is far from it.
Yeah.
I think every woman has curiosities about being bisexual.
That's
They just need
because
that right
from
man
the-
to bring it out.
That's because that's the type of shit that men push out into the world.
Now, bisexual meaning in a relationship, or
No,
just
bisexual meaning
sex and
she
that's
would
it?
she would experience the sexuality of another woman.
And a lot of times when women are looking for that, it's because men lack. They don't know how to tap into their sensuality. So
But let me hold this mic close. Let me hold this mic close. Say this: my wife ain't looking for nothing.
No,
Okay.
she
Why are you talking for her?
no
Don't talk for her.
there. She
I'm
finds
just
it.
Oh.
Yeah, she's fine with it. She
That's why
wants
you-
the sensuality.
No.
She
You and
wants
I
it.
got on
She
that.
needs it.
But she picks them, right?
Yeah.
No, I pick.
Oh,
That's why you and I had that conversation last time. You said you wouldn't let a man
It's
pick
real.
them. I
It's
pick
real.
them. No, we can call
so
Mrs. Anthony right now. Cause I ain't saying her name. We can call Mrs. Anthony right now, and she would tell y'all, "I'll pick them." She approves them, but I pick them.
Okay, fair enough. But at the end of the day, she has the last say.
Of course.
Word, yeah.
Happy
yeah,
wife, happy
She's
life.
freaking out.
Amen.
Yeah,
Yes.
happy wife. I totally believe in
Yeah.
that. Happy wife, happy life. But she gives me my
She's a smart woman.
distance to allow me to enjoy the picking part, and then she said, "Nah, nah,
Right.
hell no." I haven't gotten a hell no yet. My taste ain't that bad. I haven't gotten a hell no yet, but I got some nah. It's funny because I throw a lot of parties at the house. So we used to be considered the party house. So now we got a pool installed in the backyard, so I really throw a lot of pool parties. And while pool parties, the rule is if you're a female and you don't have a bikini, you cannot come to the pool party. That's the rule.
Oh
That's
my
the
God.
Anthony
I
rule.
would not be coming to your pool party.
It's a pool party. How you gonna be at a
You ain't
pool
about
party
to tell
without a
me shit. If
bikini?
I want to come in sweatpants, I am.
So-
You not
so-
telling me
Right.
what to wear.
So then why come to a pool party if you ain't gonna
I
have
don't give a
pool
fuck.
attire?
Well,
These are men. Oh Lord,
Well,
I will come in full. I will be dressed in a full
Right. Mind you,
jogger.
I don't like the sun, but I like to come to a pool party.
Yeah, but if you don't like the sun, how you gonna be at a pool party?
Why not? I like
What,
to
you
be by
gonna
the
sit in
water.
the house?
I like to be by the
so y'all
water.
can scope for y'all
Right.
threesome.
Hey,
And
hey,
it ain't happening.
hey,
It
you
ain't
need to stop
happening.
telling my
Nah.
secrets.
It ain't happening.
Right?
Nah.
You gotta stop telling my
Coming
secrets.
in a burqa. I'm gonna be
Okay.
like, it's hot. Like, nah, I'm good. I mean, seeing what's happening over here.
Right.
Okay, Jasmine, I need you to do me a favor. Stand up right now.
No, absolutely.
Come on, stand up, Jasmine.
No.
Cause you think, hold on, you think I'm not seeing what's happening. I see what's happening right now. You don't need a
ground.
bathing suit on. I
Stand
see
your ground.
everything that's happening right now.
But
Right
I'm not,
now.
But I'm not sitting here in my bra and panties. You know what I mean? So
Hey,
no. That I would
Even
not.
without your brown panties on right now, I know what's going on.
Okay. Next. Let's move this on. Next one. Next topic.
So Persia, I want you to once again repeat, because I don't want the show to end without knowing what it is exactly that you're doing. So I want you to repeat the book, the mention of your book, and the title of the book, when you plan on releasing it, how you plan on releasing it. Not saying like what publisher, but are you doing paperback? Are you doing online? So because I want people to know what you're doing. So when people see this, they can actually find you.
Well, I mean, it's extensive research, big time. So, literally, it's writing, one chapter at a time on the certain drugs.
Okay.
So as far as like getting it published and so on and so forth, that's. Yeah.
Well, let me digress
I have
here.
to come with product first.
How far along are you in the book?
5 chapters.
Okay.
But the chapters are long,
Yeah.
because they're not. Besides my own personal opinion and so on and so forth, I'm doing extensive research that like doctors.
Okay.
These are things that you would find on the web. What is it? WebMD.
WebMD,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
So do you have like a goal where you're like, okay, in 2 years, I want to try to have this done?
I like to, by this time next year.
This time next year?
Yeah.
And
Or
it's
even
gonna be
maybe
a-
sooner.
It's gonna be a paperback.
I envision it being hard copy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give us your like your website, so people can find you, so people know who that people that don't know who Persia Pele, let me pronounce that right, is. They can find you. And just so you know, she is on ItsMii.com.
And there you have it.
Look
I was
her
going to
up
say, yes.
Under Persia on ItsMii.com.
Yes, and so with that platform that I am on, I am actually constructing a website. Okay. So with your platform, then I will be able to
expand that.
Exactly,
okay.
Absolutely.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, I think, you being our first guest was a great first guest.
Thank you.
I mean, amazing first guest. It gave me some insight about the industry. It gave Jasmine the ability to talk shit to me as usual. Me and Jasmine and I have a very interesting working relationship. I can see us, throughout our podcast. I could definitely see us having some fun times, entertaining people with our banter back and forth.
Yes.
Gemini is an amazing sign. You get the best of both worlds.
When you guys are vibrating high, yes.
Okay.
When you're vibrating low,
what is vibrating low exactly?
Just when you're not the areas you're not really involved in. It can you can be very. In those areas, you can be very manipulative and aggressive and this and that.
Well, I think
and not humble, not as humble.
And
right. Well, I mean,
not an egomaniac.
Yes,
there's a difference between
Geminis.
And
Hello, hi. No. And I'm Leos and Geminis are the two signs that have the biggest egos. Hands down.
But see, let me make
that.
sure if people understand where my confidence comes from, because I'm not gonna say I have an ego.
Well, we all have egos.
Where my confidence come from, it doesn't come from
See,
me.
He just proved it right there.
For me, it doesn't come from looks, even though I am fine as hell. But it doesn't come from that.
No, absolutely. Confidence is within. Absolutely,
but for me, it's where I came from. I mean, I came from the streets of Chicago. Okay. I've been shot 3 times, stabbed twice. I was a big knucklehead. Everybody I used to run with are dead. And I went in the Marine Corps, and it was like thug detox for me. So the Marine Corps kind of made me into the man that I am today. Well, God made me into the man I am today. He just put me in the right place to do it. Okay. So my confidence more so comes from the success that I've had over the years, versus where my life could have gone. I mean, because my life could have went in a totally different direction. So that's really where my confidence comes from. But at the same time, when I take my shirt off, that exudes some confidence.
Right.
When I'm 48 years old.
This is a nice statement you're making, but you still do have an ego. It's
just natural. What do you mean no? It's in your DNA.
Human
DNA.
You guys always try to spin stuff.
Right.
But think about
girl, no shit.
So I'm like,
when you're 48 years old and you can take your shirt off and still have a 6-pack and that chest just still blah blah, you can't help but have confidence in that.
See, that type of stuff doesn't do anything for me.
No, not at all.
What?
No.
All this hard work I'm doing in the gym, it does nothing for y'all.
It doesn't.
So I might as well just stop going to the gym then.
No, you doing it for your wife, honey.
Yeah. Well, my wife
and yourself.
For the guest stars.
Well, my wife is 10 years younger than me, so I have to stay in shape to make sure she don't leave me for a younger dude.
Yep.
Trust me, I'm not worried about that.
No.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay. No.
As long as you don't have a watch sex life, I think she'll be good.
No, well, I guess that dude was younger on there, huh? Yeah, she won't be watching that one. No, I just.
You know what? That's actually your homework to go sit down with your wife and actually start watching Sex Life, because we're gonna talk about this.
Oh, you gonna quiz me on the next time?
We're gonna. I actually, it would be really interesting to hear your perspective, because especially me just knowing the type of man you are showing me you are, I cannot wait to see how you feel about a woman embracing her sexuality, wanting to leave her perfect life, that she's a wholesome woman, and go off into this other. I would really love to hear your perspective. So that's your homework.
But that's the thing.
You and your wife.
Even if we watch that show, I don't see her one to go off into that lifestyle. I'm just gonna introduce that lifestyle to her in our bedroom.
Oh, okay, but you just need to watch it so we can talk about it. That's the homework.
Well, the owner of ItsMii, he's been trying to get me to watch it too, so that we could talk about it. And I haven't.
I knew you would be scared. I knew you.
It's not fear. Okay.
I knew you'd be scared.
Let me make sure we clarify everything.
You're scared.
Here. There is nothing. Scared. There's only 2 things that I fear in this world. Only 2 things. Well, 3, but one is not in this world. God, I fear my mom. and I fear my daughters ever leaving me. Those are the only three things that I fear.
This is all Gemini talk right
No,
now.
those are the only things
Gemini
that I fear.
Okay, like
I don't have
stop
any
it.
other fears, you know. So
Stop
the
Gemini-ing
fear
us.
of me watching a show, the idea of me having fear of we watching the show and my wife leaving, this is how I truly feel about it. I love my wife with every fiber in me. But if my wife left me, then she wasn't mine in the first place.
Exactly. So watch the show. All right. Now you're gonna start it tomorrow or tonight. All right.
I'll watch it. Well, she's at work tonight, so we'll watch it tomorrow night.
We talking about this next week.
Yeah, we'll watch it. You know what? I may even do one better for you. I may have her do a sit-in, a quick sit-in.
Yeah, I would
quick
love
sit-in.
that. I would love to meet the
Oh my God.
wholesome
Right.
Miss Anthony.
I don't know how I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be
Didn't kiss
interesting.
anybody till she was 21.
But I think the problem though is she'll get on the
Love that you introduced that.
she'll come on the show, I think, and she'll just sit there and not say nothing.
You don't know that.
I can listen to people out.
Okay.
I get people to talk a lot.
Don't offer her no alcohol.
I definitely.
So Persia,
Yes.
what is down the road for you exactly?
I'm sorry.
What is down the road for you? I mean,
Down
besides
the
your
road?
book, what else? You know, what else can people look forward to from
Well,
Persia Pele?
so Layla Amirpour, the Persian director, she is giving me motivation to get back into the mainstream world with this niche that has not been touched, which is Persian westerns.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
She totally inspired me again to, making movies and so on and so forth, but having it our culture being tapped into,
Okay.
especially now that it's a whole lot, younger generation, and it's a lot more acceptable, so yeah.
So I have to
making
ask
movies.
this.
Yes.
If someone walked up to you today and said, "I'll pay you $25,000 to do one more scene in the industry, in the adult industry," would you take it?
If I got distribution rights and so on and so forth, absolutely, yeah, but not just that one paycheck and buy.
Okay.
No.
So you're not completely closed off to the possibility.
Right.
Okay.
But like I said, there's got to be residuals.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can
absolutely.
I ask you a question too? What would you say is your favorite? What was your favorite part about the industry?
Being able to prove to myself that I can embody this other character and not break. You got all these people around you,
Yeah.
and you're naked, and doing the, having sex and not being able to, just not breaking character. And mind you, I wouldn't even smoke pot to come on set. That's how serious.
You take
Absolutely, yeah.
So prior to the industry, do you consider yourself to have been more reserved prior to the industry?
Well, I still am. I mean, Persia Pele is just a character I played, in 40 films.
Okay.
But my friends, that know me, I'm so not.
Okay.
Right. However, I do have that in me, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're all dynamic human beings, so
Exactly.
Right.
it's
Well,
great that you were able to
absolutely.
embrace that.
I mean, because I ain't gonna lie, me and we make some stuff, boy, and I'm just, man, I love videotaping, but it ain't never gonna get out. But I love videotaping. I set that phone up and she's the funny part, we just in Miami. And she said, "I can tell every time you're filming because it's totally different when you're filming. It's like you go into character when we're filming." I said, "No, I don't. I don't do that. I'm just enjoying it." And she's like, "No, every time you do different stuff and move different ways so the camera can see you doing it."
Yeah, absolutely.
so yeah, I guess that everybody have different dynamics. I guess I got a little porn star in me, just
absolutely.
private porn star.
Right.
What would you say was your character's favorite position?
And to add on that, did you prefer more women or guys when you did it?
Women, only because it was more sensual and erotic.
See?
It wasn't just like
say.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
just like I gave you the offer last time, then come teach me something. Come to my house and your
I'm
wife
gonna send you. I'm gonna send you a PowerPoint. What would you say though was your character's favorite position though, if it was like with a man?
Well, I mean,
Because I know you said you were limited on what you would do as that character.
right. So you're asking me my personal life?
Both.
Oh.
And we haven't gotten into your personal life yet. We
Yeah.
going
Well,
there.
gosh, there's a lot of things that in my personal life I do that I never on camera. So let's see. I guess personal life. Once again, it's a character. So it wasn't like I never had an orgasm on set. I faked it completely.
It's so crazy.
Believe it or not, I swear.
I gotta ask this. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt y'all coming over there, but you brought up faking orgasm.
Yes.
What do women do that to feed a man's ego, or what's
No,
the purpose
to get them
of
to hurry
faking?
up.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about in
I'm
porn.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in personal life.
Yeah, that too. Well,
Really?
mine,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you said to get him to hurry up.
Right.
So a lot of y'all don't know what the
Right.
fuck y'all doing.
At all.
So
Right.
it's
Say,
okay,
hurry,
Don't
come
say
on.
y'all.
A lot of y'all don't know what
Say
y'all doing.
them.
No, a
'Cause
lot
this
of
one
y'all
right
don't
here.
know what you think all men sound this confident and still don't know what the fuck they doing.
And you guys don't take
But
direction.
then when we bring wifey on the show, you can ask her straight up.
She's gonna stroke your ego and say, I orgasm every time he touches
Oh no, that would be a lie because she don't. Yeah. One thing about I don't lie on my dick, and so she definitely don't orgasm every time we go there.
She know her man got an ego. She is not about to sit here and be like, no, I faked that one. You think she's gonna do that? No.
She's gonna be truthful.
I'm the type of woman you would hate because I'd be like, yeah, I faked it.
But see, that's the thing. What y'all don't understand is even though men have egos, most of us will prefer that honesty. Because let's be real. A man can't get better if he don't know what he's doing
I mean,
wrong.
I'm real honest, but
You know, so
A lot of y'all can't
a
handle
real
it.
man,
Yeah.
a real man would want to know so that he can get better. Because he can't get better if he don't know he's doing something wrong. If y'all keep stroking his ego and he think he the bomb in bed, then how y'all expect him to ever get better?
Well, you guys don't really listen to instruction.
Okay, you can't,
That way,
but y'all can't generalize like that. It's not every man
No,
like
it's a
that.
lot.
Because some men,
I mean,
Right.
Okay,
it
me.
took a while before I had good sex. Like I didn't even realize why I was so. I remember my first boyfriend, when we were like hooking up, I would be so angry after sex. And it was because we were having sex for like I didn't know anybody, but we're having sex for 1 minute.
Oh, yeah.
And he would be all happy, and
get
and I would be like, "Can you fucking get away from me?" And I didn't realize it was because my body was just like, "Bitch, this
What
is
the
not
hell?
it. This
but see,
ain't
I
it."
don't. I guess,
Blue
I
balls,
guess,
right?
You know when y'all said
We get blue
Blue ball.
clit. We get
Blue
blue.
when y'all
Right.
said that, y'all generalize and say men. A
lot of y'all don't know what y'all
Yeah,
do.
but all men are like that. So and this is not the.
And it's
This not the.
porn's fault a
Hold
lot
on.
of the time.
But this is not to stroke my ego by any means, and this is not to, as you said, to be a Gemini. But for me, sex is more of an art for me, and the reason why I say that is because my goal with any woman that I'm with is, and I'm just gonna be blunt here, to make the pussy mine. And if I'm not hitting it like I'm supposed to be hitting it, then the pussy ain't gonna be mine. So for me, I'd rather her come before I do. I'd rather her get an orgasm well before I do, because I can stick my dick in the tree and nut. You know, so I want to make sure that she gets what she came there for more so than I do. Now I know that's not the general consensus for men, but I think if more men took that into account instead of just trying to get a nut off, then it would be better off for a lot of men, because a lot of men do just get in there and they're just trying to nut. But as I said, any man can, if you want to just nut, go get a fucking donut and stick a dick in it. But you know, if you truly want a woman to appreciate what you're giving her, then make her appreciate it.
I also think, like, I get what you're saying. Yeah, sometimes it's nice when a guy is thinking about that, but it's also when you do have like sex that's really sensual and you connect, it's not about like, okay, I'm gonna get you off, then I'm gonna get mine. It's like you're fucking like vibe. You both kind of just,
I agree.
You know what
But
I mean?
also-
When I say I'm gonna get her off, it's not about me getting mine at all. It's about making sure she get her. I don't care if I get mine, because like I said, it doesn't
That's
take
what
much
gets you
for a
off
man to.
is getting her off,
Exactly.
right.
So it
No.
turns me on more when I know she's enjoying it.
So with that being said, that's why. Okay, so Have you ever been with a woman that doesn't know how to give head? But I bet you, and don't take this the wrong way, but if you were with a guy, he would know how to give you right head because
he knows. He knows that.
What?
Did you guys know?
I told you not to get offended. No. Because. Do you
No,
understand
I'm
what saying?
not.
Okay,
No,
okay.
I'm not offended. It's just it's nothing I want to imagine.
Look, because
He always
we
lost his
don't.
mind.
Okay, so we don't know what it feels like to have a penis, right? So, mind you, we don't know how it feels when we're giving you guys head. Okay, so there's a certain way.
But do you
Because
get
you would only
offended
got-
if a guy gives you direction when you're
Not
giving
at
him head?
all. I
So
implore
why?
that.
So that's my point to earlier. So when guys are not doing it right for you all, why don't you all tell them so they can get better?
There are times. I'm a very honest person.
Yeah.
I'm very direct, and I some people just don't get it.
Or-
Some people
or
just
there's like,
they
whatever.
don't have it.
Yeah, exactly.
I just
it's like I told you, do
they're
it like
too
this.
robot-
Do it
and I
like
don't
right.
like robotic
Right.
sex.
Yeah.
I am not going to be here like A B C D 1 2 3. I'm not doing it. It's fucking. It
But
takes
what-
all the. It
but
takes
what if he has
away
the-
from sex? Now
Right.
I
What
don't
if he had
wanna
the
do it.
best personality in the world,
I don't-
treats
well,
you
then we're
amazing
friends.
outside of the
Then we're
bedroom,
friends.
Right.
What
but
do
he
you
treats
mean?
you amazing outside of the bedroom, but he wants to be more than friends.
No, it's not. We're not. If we don't. Sex
But
is
isn't it
very important.
It is,
to
but
me.
isn't
we're
a
not-
relationship more important than sex though?
No, both are equally important, and I need both.
And it's different for women.
Or bye.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry,
It's
I'm not doing that.
For women, it's now I'd say 95 maybe percent of the time. When a woman cheats on a man, it's because she's done and over with. When a man cheats on a woman, it's because he's just wired like that. Does that make sense?
What about your dating life? Are
Yes.
you in a relationship?
Yes.
Or
No, I'm not actually.
do you,
Why?
Do you really want to know why?
Yes.
I just got out of a 5-year relationship with a Gemini. Thank you very much. So I need a break.
She needs a support group. Oh God.
Oh, my
Let's see.
goodness.
If you have been traumatized by a Gemini, please
yeah.
call.
And so when I get into relationships, I tend to forget about myself and my dreams and so on and so forth. So, I'm not going to say I wasted my 5 years, but
No, that you got that lesson from
right,
that. So
yeah.
definitely
So
not a waste.
not at all.
Well, I don't feel
so-
with you being in a relationship that if it's the right man, that you have to give up on any of your dreams. You should be encouraging those dreams.
Well, yes, but also I know myself, and when I get into a relationship, I turn into this. My grandmother raised me to be a housewife, believe it or not. So I tend to take that role of being a housewife and forgetting about my dreams and making sure that I have a strong man and
You put yourself
self-
last all the time.
absolutely,
Yeah.
So I don't want to do that anymore.
Well, don't put yourself too far first, because then you'll be kissing a dude in the club.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Oh God, this is bothering you.
I gotta be able to
It's-
laugh about it. at
No,
this
you
point,
do.
I
You
gotta be able to
absolutely.
laugh about
But
it,
you know what, though?
If I don't, laugh about it, it's gonna eat at me, and I'm gonna make a drastic move that I probably shouldn't make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have to laugh about it.
Absolutely, and at the end of the day, she was honest in a sense. Without, she could have denied it.
She was honest, but wasn't completely forthcoming, I guess.
I think all this is showing is that there are some issues in your relationship. It's like if you make a pros and cons list, you seem like a black and white guy. If the pros are more, then fix them. Get to the core where you guys are lacking, and then make it better. Both of you together. You know what I mean?
What's love? I mean, being in love is an illusion, first and foremost.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Well, I mean,
I don't.
meaning that. Okay, what's the difference between being in love and loving
someone?
Right.
Well, there's a difference.
Yeah, there's a huge difference. For me, loving someone, like I can love my dog.
Yeah. I can
Right.
love you.
Yeah,
but I didn't love
exactly,
someone else.
exactly.
Okay.
So for
So
me,
it's-
when I say
There's
I'm
no
in
such
love
thing.
with someone, for me it means that I would give my life for this person.
Well, I guess we all have different definitions. I mean, it's not realistic to be in love with somebody throughout a
Well,
10-year
I
span.
I don't think that's how we were built. I agree with you. I don't think that's how we were built. But I do feel that we control
well, I
our
think
own
you have to
destiny.
work on it. But love,
Yeah.
love has to be nourished.
I feel that we
And
control our own
so
destiny.
love can continue to foster, but you have to also nourish that.
I
and
agree.
both people
I agree.
have to do that.
I
It
agree.
can't be one person like you're
Right,
saying.
of
You
course.
become this. You know,
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
not
I
that's
agree.
not sustainable.
No,
like after
no.
you're like shit. Who am
It
I?
definitely
Where am I?
has to be
Yeah.
both parties
It has to be
involved,
both. Yeah.
making that love last.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
but I agree with you. Do I think that we were built to necessarily be with one person? No, I don't think we built that way. But just like me, I was built to be a knucklehead in Chicago.
And you're talking about more sexually.
No, not the same. I'm just saying, period. You know.
So you're
I mean,
not talking about
because
sexually.
we're
You wanna have
social.
sister
No, I'm
wives
saying
and
we're
be friends.
social beings. So the idea of you being mainly social with just one person for the rest of your life.
Well, of course,
that's
you're not
not
gonna be so.
involved.
You got friends, you got
But
this and that.
but I'm saying, but generally, when you're married, most married men or most married men and women don't want their partners to have friends of the opposite sex, right? So you know, the idea of us being married and her being my only friend, basically, we're not built that way, you know. So, but just like I was saying, I was built to be a knucklehead in Chicago, but I chose my destiny from there. So even though we're not built to love one for the rest of our lives, or one man for the rest of our life, I think we can alter our course and make that so.
I still think I do believe some people can be together and be in love for.
I agree. I agree that they can.
I 100. I have certain. I don't see it all the time, but I do have certain couples that I look up to.
Yeah.
They have great partnerships, and I think that's possible. I just think it takes two people.
Yeah, I agree.
And a lot of people, they're lower vibrational. They come together. It's selfishness. It's no communicate, and it's not shocking that it doesn't last.
And I guess that's one thing for me in my relationships, any relationship that I've ever been in, even if I was dating them for a week. I'm a big communicator. I believe in effective communication can heal all wounds. But when I say that, both parties have to be open and honest about their communication.
Absolutely.
You know, it can't be forced communication.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
it can't be, as I was stating earlier, interrogated communication. It has to be something that's just free willing to let each party know that I can trust in you and your word. You know, the fact that I had to pull it out of her, it made me trust her even less.
Well, and here's another thing so when people lie, it's because they fear the outcome. Meaning they want to control the outcome because they are afraid that person is not going to want to be with them anymore. So I've always been like, you know, I could deal with the truth, but I will not deal with lies. You know, I may be angry with you for a week or a month, but you being honest with me, like, you know, forever, I'll be there for you.
Well, I
But
think for me, the biggest difference
lying.
between a man and woman when it comes to relationships for me is women generally can get, and this may be, as you all stated earlier, a man's ego, but women generally can get over a man cheating a lot easier than a man can get over a woman cheating. Because our egos, men's
Are
egos
fragile.
are
I
you
mean,
use that word fragile. I wouldn't say fragile.
Society has built it to be. It's very, the male ego is very fragile.
I think that men, all men, even men that are not as prideful as I am.
Not all men.
I think all men, it's harder for them to get over it because all men have a certain sense of pride. And of course, some men have larger pride or far more prideful than others, but all men have a sense of pride.
I mean, not all men. Will Smith is with Jada, so let's just
Yeah,
start
but
there,
that's totally different.
She had a full blown.
No, but that's totally different. You got to you got to understand.
No, it ain't
you got
different.
to
It's not
understand
different.
their dynamics, and I know their dynamics personally.
But it ain't different.
No,
he was hurt by the situation.
No,
and he
no,
forgave
he
her.
wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Yes, he
No,
was.
no.
Yes, he was.
Okay.
And he forgave
You
her.
gotta understand.
But he was fine with her fucking somebody else.
Okay,
He was.
but you got to understand.
So that's not all
This
men.
this may be not something.
different.
This is not something I should
You know,
necessarily be.
society-
Hold on. This is not something
society
I should
does
necessarily
kind
be
of
discussing on
brainwash
camera.
us and mold us, right?
Okay.
But not all men are.
But the
are
scenario
gonna
that you
be the same.
gave is not correct. This is not something I should be discussing. But he wasn't mad that she did that. He knew she was doing that before she put it out there that she was doing it.
Yeah,
and I know that person.
I know
so he was never mad about it. You gotta understand that dynamic.
He said he knew.
No,
he said he knew.
You gotta
I was
and he gave
fully,
blessing.
But
He
you
gave
gotta
blessing.
you gotta understand their relationship dynamics. It's not that's.
But you're
That's
saying
normal.
you're saying all men, and I'm just
I think
saying
all men are prideful.
And he was fine with it.
I think
and
all
she was
men-
getting dicked down by the young dude. He was. It's not all men.
I'm not putting it business.
It's not all men.
Yeah, I think all men are prideful. Now some are more prideful than
Yeah,
others,
we do.
but I think all men are prideful.
We do foster that, and so I get. Yeah, there are a lot of prideful men walking around with fragile egos. Yes, 100%.
Well, you keep saying fragile egos. I don't think it makes the ego fragile simply because they
You don't
don't.
like that word.
No.
No, because ain't nothing about me fragile.
Triggered.
There's nothing about me fragile.
The Marines coming out. Ain't no about me fragile. Okay, relax. Calm down. We all have fragile moments, you know? We all
Okay,
have
let's get
things
off
that can
Mandel
make
because
us
see,
like-
this is the thing with Jasmine. She stayed on me last show about the finger and the booty thing, and I'm just like, no, I don't. That's not my thing. Just make sure.
No, hold on.
No,
Well, no.
Because when I said finger and the booty thing, she's like,
Well, no, I have a whole thing on
That's
that.
not my thing.
And-
but she stayed on me about it, and was like, Mandel, you're
It's a health
busy now.
thing as well. Yes, prostate cancer. If that.
You gotta put the finger
Yeah,
in the
yes,
booty.
that's where your
Right.
G spot
As
is.
I told
That's
her,
where your G-spot
as I told her,
now,
and I'll tell
a
you.
dildo versus a finger, that's a whole different
as
story.
I told her,
okay,
and
but you know,
as I told her, and I'll tell you, if someone got to stick their finger up my booty to check my prostate, then my prostate is gonna go bad because ain't nobody sticking their finger up my
That's
booty.
what I mean. You.
But that's medical.
You think that
I mean,
threatens your
okay,
manhood?
yeah,
that
why?
much?
Why?
It threatens your
anything.
manhood
Right.
that
They
much.
ain't threatening anything. I
Yes,
just don't
it
want a
is.
finger
Yes,
up
it
my
is.
asshole.
Yes, it
Wait, you don't want to feel, that we all have G spots. And
Right.
that's what
I
you
told
he
you
said.
that
Great.
there's
He
one there
said,
for men.
but
Guess
it don't make.
what?
Yeah.
A man
He
can
thinks
nut by
he's
sticking.
He thinks he's a freak too. He thinks
a
he
man-
ought to
Okay.
say,
Okay,
hell no,
reverse
it's not.
psychology don't work.
Where?
On me. All right, it don't work on me. That's not gonna.
War.
That's not going to encourage me to let somebody stick their finger up my booty. If I said I think I'm. No, it's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. I'll leave it up to you, and you sticking your finger up all your men's booties.
Hey.
But this booty gonna stay virgin.
Okay.
I need to talk to Miss Anthony.
Gonna stay virgin. See, y'all understand? They can do prostate checks through blood now, so you don't have to stick your finger anymore. Yes, you can. I got my prostate checked through
But you
blood.
have to get
Now, what they can't do, the colonoscopy thing or whatever, where they got to stick the camera up there. Now that's not through blood. Well, my colon just gonna go bad.
Oh
It ain't
my
gonna happen.
God.
Okay.
You are so
ain't gonna happen.
ridiculous.
All right.
Ain't gonna happen. But
No.
I appreciate, no, I don't even appreciate that. I appreciate y'all men letting y'all do, but I don't even appreciate that. That's up to y'all. But
You appreciate
What?
what?
I was gonna say I appreciate y'all men letting y'all stick their finger, but I don't even appreciate that.
Calm now. Yeah.
We're gonna digress from
Yeah.
this
Okay.
conversation.
So you still haven't clarified your personal life though. Why are you single?
I did. It's I'm with myself now, in a
She's
relationship with
focusing on
myself.
self-love right
Absolutely. Well,
So
yeah,
since you're
focusing-
focusing on self-love,
I don't have
you-
time right now.
Okay, so
to
since
deal
you're
with
focusing on
things.
self-love, I'm gonna put this out there. Since you focus on self-love, do you give yourself a lot of self-love?
What's your definition of self-love?
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, I
we
do.
all grown in here.
Amen. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Just making sure, 'cause I'm sure some guys that's gonna see this, they was wondering. So she ain't got a man. Damn, is she over there handling herself?
I got a glow, right?
Yeah.
It's all science.
Now, are you bi?
I mean, so
Ooh, hold on. You kind of shy on that one, huh?
well, how do I say it? I've never been approached by a woman to be in a relationship with them.
Okay.
I have been with women, of course.
Okay.
They're beautiful and sensual, but I've never been like, that's my man. You know what I mean?
Okay. So do you think you could be in a relationship with a woman though?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But in my personal life, I'm very shy, believe it or not, and so I would
I
never,
can feel that.
I would
can
never,
believe that
I
too.
would never initiate.
Yeah.
That.
You know, we had this conversation just this morning, and I said, she said something about somebody's big ass on TV, and I said, see, I knew you were gay. like just messing with her. And she said, Mendel, I'm not gay. I said, oh, excuse me, bi. She said, I'm not even bi. I just
Appreciate
enjoy
beauty.
it. Yeah, I just enjoy it, but I'm not bi. She said, I could never see myself being like in an exclusive relationship with a woman.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
and I was like, and I was joking around. I was like, well, I would really be mad if you, as long as I could watch, you know.
I mean, I love it that women can appreciate other women's beauty. I can't wait till it's okay for men to be open like that as well. And said, you know what I mean? We need to encourage that. It's okay to say, you know what? That man got a nice six-pack.
Great. I can
Look
look
at
at
those sexy
I can look
abs.
at a dude's shoes
You
and
know?
like, those are some tight-ass shoes.
He's like, you know what,
Hey,
man?
that's a fly-ass haircut.
Those dimples look real cute on you, man.
Hell,
You know
hold
what I
on,
mean?
hold on,
Like,
hold on, hold on.
you-
So if your man walked up to another dude and walked up and said, "Hey man, them dimples on fire,"
Yeah,
you'd be okay with that?
That's nice. I'm gonna encourage it.
Okay.
That's Caligula all over
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
We encourage women to appreciate other women's beauty. We need to also encourage men to do the same.
But men are really not
But
beautiful.
men and women are not built. Men and women are not built exactly the same though.
What do you mean we're not built the same?
Meaning women are emotional creatures. Men are
Men
more.
are emotional.
No,
Let
men
me-
are more
let me-
rational
You are
creatures.
an emotional human being. Yes, you
I
are.
am rational.
That's why you're fucked up over this situation.
No,
Stop acting
I'm
like
fucked
you
up
don't
over
have
it because of
emotions.
rationality.
No, you're fucked up over this
I'm
situation. because you have-
rationalizing this.
And now you're trying to rationalize, but it's an emotional
Okay.
situation. We all have emotions. The Marines try to tell you, you ain't got no emotions. You a man, you a robot. You are human
not a
being.
robot, but I'm
you
a
are
man.
Spirit, and you have emotions, you have feelings, you have intuition,
Yeah,
you
I
have
do.
all that.
I have feelings
so,
towards
yes,
my
they're
daughter.
all there. They're
Yeah, I
all
have
there.
immense feelings towards my daughter.
You have feeling towards everything. You got feeling towards everything. So let's just be real.
It's definitely a pleasure to finally meet you.
Thank you. Likewise.
And we look forward to definitely having you on the show again.
Thank you. I'd love to come back and give back to the girls, and try to make a change, because this whole industry not being controlled is it's mind blowing.
I definitely feel that's something that's definitely needed.
Absolutely.
So.